welcome back to another KMAK Science Pod. This time around we've got four of us, we've got Archana in the building as well. And today we're going through behavior change. By the way, super important topic, especially like right now, you are going to change your life and you're going to go through the transformation. And this is an important topic. So yeah, you probably guys will listen to this a few times. So I'm going to kick off, Dio over here. We're going to go through a Comp B model. So firstly, what is a Comp B model? Could you explain that?
Yeah, so the Comp B model is like, it's the kind of staple model that is used when kind of trying to pull in the factors that dictate our behavior. So the COMB stands for a capability, opportunity, and motivation, and they drive behavior. So capability, it comes essentially down to like the skills and having like the knowledge and know-how to do what it is that you're trying to do. So that's essentially like when you think about what coaching was, is us providing clients with like a plan of like these are the things that you have to do to get you to where you want to be.
Yeah.
Then when it comes to opportunity, this is going to be different depending on the individual, but it can be like a financial opportunity, it can be like a time opportunity, it can be like a bandwidth opportunity as well. If you're not in the headspace, then it's hard to change your behavior. And then motivation is largely like that kind of, whether it's intrinsic motivation, like you're by yourself, you want to like create a better version of yourself, or like extrinsic motivation being like essentially
well, there's like a holiday.
Yeah, there's like exactly like a holiday to work towards. So when we have these kind of couple of things, so we have our capability, opportunity, and motivation all lined up, that's what allows us to engage in behaviors that move us closer to our goals, essentially.
Would you need a mix of both from a motivation perspective, like intrinsic and extrinsic?
It's actually person dependent. It's person dependent. Some individuals will be more intrinsically motivated, some individuals will be more extrinsically, but I think probably the sweet spot is a combination of both of them, yeah.
And also someone could be heavily extrinsically motivated based on also like health outcomes recently. Like they've got their labs and they're like, I'm going through this. They're more likely to be super extrinsically motivated to change.
I'd say more so like that actually would be like intrinsically motivated.
Yeah, which is what I'm saying.
As opposed to like an extrinsic motivation might be like a social pressure to change. Like that's kind of the way I view that there.
Okay, perfect. Let's go through environment, because obviously environment dictates a lot from a change perspective. So what's your thoughts on environment, Archana?
100%. Environment makes a huge difference on someone's ability to show up and, be able to follow through to achieve their goals and to have those habits in place where they will eventually have those behaviors molded towards progress. Something that I like to explain to clients a lot is that you want to start off by figuring out what are the things that you're doing right now that are in your environment, whether it's where your snacks are placed and moving them out of the way so that you're not constantly being going to that same place again and again. It's that habit that's created by things that are put in the same place, essentially. So I find that if you change that up or audit your environment, get rid of things that are not supporting your goals, that will help you massively in eventually numbing that inherent habit that you might have had, that maybe the snacking that you do at a specific time or a specific place. If it's no longer there, you're not going to do it. And I always say that there's type A, there's type B. The type A person right now will have everything in order, will have nothing that's going to, come in their way of their progress, that has their kitchen's cleared out, there's nothing their pantry that's going to sway them from their goals. And then you have the other person here who has everything that's going to limit them, that's going to pull them in direction away from their goals. And if you put those two people up, you have to decide, okay, what are the things that are right now going to bring me closer to this person that I need to be? And all of that comes into molding that environment, auditing the environment, and making sure you have things lined up for you to make progress, essentially.
A lot of people, early days, are also like all or nothing. Mm-hmm. We've spoken about this like over the years as well, where, I think it's in phase 1 video actually, which is like, you don't want to be all or nothing. So do you want to dive deep into that real quick as well?
So with all or nothing thinking, I think we always talk about this. It's not helpful to anybody to have this sort of very black and white thinking, where if you've messed up on one day, that it's going to translate to the whole week, and then the whole week goes to then you got to throw it away. That's not helpful to anybody. And a better way to think about it is, okay, well, I messed up right now. How about I just pick it up right for my next meal? Don't even wait till the next day, the next meal. I think all or nothing mentality is something that most people struggle with too much right now because they want perfection. They want to have everything that's going to be really, really, really good. But we know life is not perfect. And to kid yourself into thinking that all or nothing is going to be the way forward, and that you're just going to always like restart and have this black and white thinking, you're not going to move forward. You're just going to be in the same place every single week, basically.
Yeah. So I want to go to you about momentum. My mentor says this a lot. He goes, that M word is really crucial. And in the year, you want to keep gaining momentum. You don't want that to slow down. What can someone do to consistently have momentum within their journey?
So I'll come back to what Archie said in just a second as well on the all or nothing, because I think there's a couple of points that came to mind there for me. But momentum wise, I think for me, that kind of comes back into like a motivation feedback loop. So initially, when you first start, you're very, very motivated. You start taking actions, you start engaging in new behaviors. With those new behaviors, you start seeing progress towards your goals that you want to achieve. And that progress then drives additional motivation, which keeps that kind of momentum cycle going in that respect.
Yeah.
To just keep moving forwards, keep driving towards your goals. I think one of the biggest things that came up for, and this kind of comes into that momentum side of things so that it doesn't end up breaking as well, with the all or nothing thinking, is something that we actually discussed in a different podcast on goal setting, with flexibility over rigidity, making sure we have flexible goals in place. So that may well be ranges around what you actually want to achieve. Maybe that's, we've got a goal of 160 grams of protein a day, but we still view 130 grams of protein that day as a win,
Yeah.
right? Rather than, okay, I've missed it by 30 grams. I'm just going to avoid everything there. And then outside of that is also ways to, again, keep momentum going. Another one that I know Dee likes to discuss is implementation intentions as well, and if-then statements. So if you've got a goal with something you want to achieve, and that may well be, okay, I'm going to train at the gym, give it a place, give it a time at 10 a.m., right? If I can't do that, then I'm going to do this instead. And that might be, okay, I'm going to go for a walk this evening. Something that's very, very simple that still, again, gives you that urge of, okay, I've actually succeeded here. And again, gives you a good way instantly around that kind of all or nothing thinking side of things, and can keep that kind of momentum side of things that you mentioned going as well.
Yeah, 100%. And then also anchoring new habits. Do you want to add to that?
Yeah, so I look at this as habit stacking initially. So let's say, for example, and this could also come back to environment as well, right? Maybe when you have your coffee in the morning, you're going to take your creatine. What's an easy way of doing that? Leave your creatine next to the coffee machine. So you see it straight away, but you also, everyone has a coffee in the morning, or a lot of people do, right? So it's something that we automatically do. Let's go ahead, add this in at the same time. It becomes a lot easier to remember it.
What does everyone do here individually to ensure that we stack something? So like, let's say in the morning for you, is there something that you do and you've done for so many years? Because I know I do something and I, going back to this, I'm like, yeah, actually I do this quite a lot. So what would it be for you?
It's just water intake with first meal.
Okay. Yeah, simple. Mine's always, I'll have my gym clothes. If it's gym day, I'll have it ready the night before. Just so I know, like, it creates less decision fatigue for me anyway. Anything for you, sure?
Similar to you, I got my gym clothes ready to go, and my water bottle is usually ready the night before as well, because I train in the morning. And
electrolytes ready, yeah, those are the big ones. Anything for you, Sam?
Yeah, I just gave you mine. Creatine and coffee.
Creatine and coffee is a big one, isn't it? Cool. And then anything else we want to wrap up with regarding behavior change?
Yeah, so I think like the overarching thing is like the behavior that you want to do more, decrease the barrier to entry so it's easy. The behavior that you want to stop doing, try put a barrier out in the way of that essentially. And then the next kind of thing there is, sometimes when we plan out our goals or behaviors, we do it in a really positive headspace of like, I could do X, Y, and Z. Like, it's possible I could do them things. But like, what could I do when I'm feeling bad? Like, what is the bare minimum I could do? And have a plan of like how you're going to approach things when you aren't feeling motivated, when you aren't feeling great. What can you still do then? And that will help you to still like keep trucking forward.
Yeah, because motivation will dip.
Yeah.
And it's like plan for the dip. And then come out of it. It's a really good book, by the way, guys. Seth Godin, The Dip. Go check it out. Apart from that, that's behavior change. See you in the next episode.